Let me do this intro. Hello, YouTube. I hope all is well. I hope all is well. Today, we are discussing how to attract the types of men that you actually like. If you have any questions, what you're going to do is comment in the chat. Comment in the chat that you would like to join the live stream and you have a question. I will go ahead and send you the link. You can also, if you're a little camera shy, join, just drop your question inside of the box and I'll answer it there. If you are just joining on Instagram and you want to be a part of the live stream, then you are in the absolute wrong place. Instead, where you should join us is on YouTube. So go ahead and comment or DM the word YouTube to join the live stream to ask any particular questions. Okay, we are discussing how to attract the types of men that you actually like. Miss Rightway says, so excited. I attract men, but I think I want one of them golden retriever types. Tell me, what do you mean by golden retriever types? Give me some insight. All right. So again, if you have a particular question, you want to join the live, you're going to join me on YouTube. So if you are on YouTube, you're already here. Welcome, welcome. You can either drop your question in the chat and let me know you want me to read it, or if you want to join the live, I will send you a link to join the live so you can ask the question here. Alrighty, so how do I attract the types of men that I actually like? This is going to be a very shallow live. It's going to start out very shallow, I promise. And then we will have some depth for as long as my baby allows. So there are 2 steps in how to attract the types of men that you actually like. The 2 steps are very easy. The first step is going to be your external appearance. And then the second step is going to be your internal reality, right? So your external appearance and your internal reality. So the first thing is you have to be attractive to them, meaning you are going to have to meet whatever their standard of beauty is. Very shallow, I know, but it doesn't, unless you become their friend and try to work your way in the back end, which I don't recommend. I want you to date people who are immediately attracted to you, who find you beautiful, right? And so I'm not trying to be your friend to find out so that I can break dance my way in the back end. Absolutely not. So you need to be attractive to them, whatever they find as attractive. So if they find big booty women attractive, you got some options, right? You can either move on to somebody else who appreciates your physique as is, or you could try to do the alternative. I would not recommend risking your life for the alternative, right? Maybe you get in the gym, you try to build those glutes up. If they prefer a woman who is white and you're not it, if they prefer a woman who is black and you're not it, my recommendation is to go try to be with somebody else, right? However, at the end of the day, you have to look the way that that man would appreciate. What I would recommend that you do, instead of going under the knife or doing anything that's drastic, is to look your best self. So we're not bleaching our skin. We're not getting butt shots, right? You are going to look your best self, however you would define it. So instead of us trying to backwards plan, right? What you're going to do is you're going to maximize on your appearance as is. So what does that mean? Your complexion is what it is and it's beautiful. We're going to clear that complexion, right? You are going to get your teeth nice and straight and white and pretty, right? You are going to fill in your eyebrows if that's the case. You are going to add on makeup as appropriate. We're not packing it on. We're adding one technique, one strategy, one product at a time, so that you are working on the skill of emphasizing the beautiful traits that you already have. If we got some missing edges, we're going to a dermatologist, we're going to get those shots and we're going to get those edges growing again, right? We are getting in the gym. We are hydrating. We are working out. We are lifting weights. Gone are the days of women saying, oh no, I don't want to lift weights because then I'm going to get super brolic. No, you're not. If you don't have the desire to get super brolic, you're never going to get it. I have my trainer I've been working out with for months. I told him that I felt like my shoulders were getting too broad. He switched it up. We're doing a little bit less of this stuff, right? We're doing more of other stuff. Gone are the days of just doing cardio thinking that's going to make a difference, right? Because then you're not building the muscle. You're not lifting the way that you need to lift. You're not getting stronger. You're changing your diet. So again, I know super shallow, but I have to start out with reality. I can't see past your face to know that you are nurturing. I can't see past the physique to know that you have a relationship with God that's amazing. I can't see, right? Like that's just the reality of life. I don't have x-ray vision. I can't see your heart. I see the face. I see and feel the confidence. I see the physique. That's what I see. That's what I know. Therefore, that has to be the first thing that we tackle. And to be honest with you, it's the easiest. And to be honest with you, it's the easiest. So, what we're going to do, we're going to get a notebook, we're going to get a pad, and we're going to start listing the things that we can do to work on becoming the best visual representation of ourselves. Edges, eyebrows, lashes, skin, teeth, physique, overall health. You drink too much, we need to reduce that. You smoke too much, we need to reduce that, right? So that you're showing up as your best physical self, because the reality is that is what either party's going to see. We have this ideology about men being visual, right? And there is some validity to that, where men value looks more than women. Women will allow a guy to make us laugh, and we'll kind of counter that as a right. We'll allow money or prestige to kind of counter looks that ain't all that. However, we still want to be presenting as attractive as possible, even for the gentlemen too. It opens up your options. This is painful for me to say out loud, but it is the reality, right? So you want to present as your best outward self. That is the easy thing. That is the easiest method that you can use in order for you to initially attract the types of guys that you are potentially interested in. Because here's a hard truth. Potentially, you may not be attracting the types of guys that you like because they don't like you as you present. If they got to know you, maybe a different story, but they don't like you in the way that you present. And you can say, oh, that's terrible. He should love me for me. Yeah, he's going to love you for you once he loves you. He don't even like you yet. He don't even know you yet, right? So the bonnet and the baggy shirt and all the things, right, that people go through, and aging, which is the nature of the game, and the ups and the downs and the pregnancy and the weight loss and the weight gain. Okay, he loves you. We didn't get that far. So you do have to present as your most attractive visual self in order for you to begin to attract more men and the types of men that you potentially like. Sorry, I didn't make up the rules, right? There's something called pretty privilege for a reason. So we need to start working on those things. Again, that's the easiest. YouTube, right? DIY, TikTok. If that's not it, we need to get into somebody's medical office, right? We need to start using that insurance that you work so hard to get that good job that you got. Pay out of pocket, care credit, I don't care. Once it's safe, you need to start leveling up how you present to the world. We need to take the bonnets off. And I'm a bonnet queen. I am a bonnet queen. My baby pulls my hair out 24/7. I am a bonnet queen. We need to take the bonnets off when we enter into the world. I don't care if it's a quick run to the supermarket. I don't care if you just dropping the kids off at school. Every opportunity is an opportunity. Take the bonnet off. Some of you might say, well, Allison, there are plenty of guys who approach me when I'm in the gym or in gym clothing. Yes, that's true. That doesn't mean that you can't level up your gym clothes. It doesn't mean that there won't be more gentlemen who approach you if you leveled up your I have a personal trainer and I am married. I have a personal trainer, meaning there's usually either one other client of his or none. He is married. I am married. We are not interested in each other. However, I started looking yesterday looking for gym clothes that are more fashionable, because I want to feel better. I want to feel better when I present to the world. I want to feel better when I present in the gym. I feel like when I look in the mirror in the gym and I have on a nicer outfit, I go a little harder. Is that unreasonable? Right? Like, does that make sense? Saying all that to say you need to be leveling up how you present to the world, period. Right? Period. And I have to tell you, I think that's the easy part. Let's talk about the harder part. So what I do, I'm Allison Wellington, certified dating and relationship coach. I didn't say this. I primarily work with busy professional women to help them attract and keep the partner that they deserve. Attract and keep the partner that they deserve. Yes, the Gap and Old Navy have cute gym clothes. Thank you. I'm going to definitely look into that. I was looking on Amazon. Amazon's my best friend. That being said, attract is what we just discussed. You need to look better. Everybody has space to look better. I came on this live. I didn't fill in my eyebrows. I have good excuses. My makeup is in my room. That's when my baby's sleeping. And that's the only reason I could get on live. So it was either go get some makeup on, fill in my eyebrows to look good for y'all, and then can't do the live. or kind of look a little busted as I'm telling y'all to look better and do the live. I chose to be of service to y'all. Okay. So that's attract. Now it's the keep part. I don't know about y'all. I have met people, men and women, who are aesthetically pleasing. And then once I got to know them, I didn't like them anymore. And they looked less good looking because they were not good people. Have y'all had that experience? I don't want to stop the book at just upgrade your looks, upgrade the health, upgrade the physique. That's the attract. I need you to then keep. If you found yourself a good man, you have done the work and you are lucky. You've done the work, YouTube. You've done the work and you are lucky. Therefore, I need you to keep that good man. That means you need to be showing up as your best self internally. This is the harder part. This is the part that will probably require more than YouTube and DIY and 2 visits to a doctor. It will probably include more than a prescription cream and some Invisalign. Okay. This is going to be the deep work. This is going to be working with a coach or a counselor or a therapist. They could be 6 weeks, 8 weeks, 6 months, a year. This could be digging into your skeletons in your closet and your past and your trauma and facing hard truths and having to end relationships with people and having to put down boundaries and questioning yourself. That's the real work, right? So this is working in tandem. I'm working on presenting as the most attractive version of me. That is reality, period. Sorry. Shallow, yes. Reality, yes. I can't see that you're a good person if I can't look past the skin, the teeth, the hair, the physique, the lack of care for yourself. How can you expect someone to respect you if you're not respecting yourself and the temple that God gave you? Right? All that being said, that is the attract. I help women to attract and keep, attract and keep. So that's the attract part. We reel them in, right? Now we got to season that thing up, fry that thing up, eat that thing, enjoy that thing, right? So that looks like doing the internal work. What I tell my clients in my 8-week coaching program, The Partner You Deserve, this is session 3. Right? In session 3, it's called You. They got a whole workbook. We got video modules. We meet on Zoom, all the things. They have a homework assignment before they enter into session 3. That homework assignment is that they have to come up with a list of 50 behaviors and traits that describe them. Good, bad, or indifferent. Loving, hard-headed, affectionate, helpful, argumentative, good, bad, or indifferent. I ask them to circle one of those 50 things that they know is most problematic in their romantic life, that they know they're not showing up as their best self, that they know continuously trips them up. And even if they were matched with the greatest guy, the greatest girl of all time, that would be a repeating issue in their romantic life. Just one thing. And then with my clients, I create an action plan as how they're going to change that behavior. Story time. As many of you may know, before I married my husband, I was dating a gentleman for 4 years where there was no growth, no next steps, no savings account, no house, no baby, no engagement, no wedding, no nothing. I was his girlfriend like we were 17 in high school for 4 years, and 4 good years. That was from 26 to 30. Okay. I was looking for growth. He wasn't. He was either unwilling or unable. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Right. As a matter of fact, I'm thankful for him because he had more insight than I did, that this thing wasn't what it was supposed to be, right? It wasn't supposed to grow past that. I wish he would have ended it a little earlier than I realized, but hey, you take your lessons and you take your beating and you keep it moving. All that being said, when that relationship ended, I could have just easily pointed fingers like we like to do. Everybody else is the problem, like we like to do. Or I can say, obviously there were shortcomings on that end, but how did I not show up? Or how did I show up not as my best self? We could easily point fingers, but how did I show up not as my best self internally? Well, I can tell you one of my issues is that I was argumentative. I was just telling this story. I did a session today earlier, and I can tell you that my father told me that I should be a lawyer or a politician when I was like 7. Argue you down. And this is very nasty. I was ashamed to say this earlier in a session. I'm ashamed to say it now. One of the things that I found joy in my argumentativeness was making people feel stupid. Not only am I going to argue with you to show you that I'm right and you're wrong, but I found joy in other people feeling stupid and less than. Why? Because it made me feel smarter and greater than. What a nasty trait to have. Who wants to come home to somebody who's looking for an argument and looking to belittle them and make them feel stupid in said argument? Nobody. Nobody. Therefore, that was some work that I needed to do, because even though this relationship didn't work, I intend to get in another one. And when I get into that other one, I will eventually have to be a better version of me in order to attract, which I already did, come on, attract, but then keep the partner that I deserve, right? So that's the work that I had to do. Why is it that I feel a need that someone has to feel less than me? Why do I have to prove that I'm smarter or better than you? What's wrong with me where that is a need? And correcting that behavior. That many times, I'm going to tell y'all straight up, YouTube, no shade, YouTube, I'm on it right now, and Google's won't do. Sometimes you need a professional to step in and to guide your steps so you recognize why you're doing the behavior that you're doing, and then you can put real steps in place to change said behavior. Does that make sense? So again, there are so many women that I see that are not attracting the types of guys that they like. They get attention, but it's not the gentleman that they want. And it's twofold. Number one, you have to make sure that you are the physical representation of the type of women that they like. I'm not telling you to do anything drastic. I would not ever recommend that anyone does anything to their body that is not what they want to do because they want to do it. I met a guy and he likes girls with big boobs, so I'm going to get a boob job. Absolutely not. However, if for your entire life, you don't like your boobs, maybe you breastfed for many years and the boobs are to your knees, you wanted to do this thing regardless. Once it's safe and vetted, do that thing, please. Once you have vetted it, it's safe, do that thing. Lose that weight, gain that muscle, drink more water, clear up your skin, get a skin regimen in place, visit the dermatologist, visit the dentist, visit ortho, get those braces. Don't let nobody tell you you're too old for braces. I've had braces 3 times. 3. Don't let nobody tell you that. And look at it. I was looking at one of the clips I made the other day. I'm like, yo, my teeth are popping because I did this thing 3 times. And I get my teeth whitened twice a year. And I pay out of pocket. I pay out of pocket for the last braces too. You got to pay the cost to be the boss. We cannot say that we want certain things out of life, recognizing that pretty privilege is real, especially in romance. Especially in romance. This is not a job where you just have to have credentials on a resume and you apply blindly. They call you in. They don't really care too much about how you look. Even though I saw a statistic that said women that wear makeup make twice as much as women who don't in the same positions. I don't know how true that is statistically, but I know that I've benefited off of pretty privilege. I know that I've gotten jobs, whole jobs, because of pretty privilege. So if we want to pretend like, oh, all that matters is what's in your heart. Yeah, that's the second part. That's how you keep your relationship. Attract and keep the partner that you deserve. That's what I teach. But the attraction part has to start with you being as attractive as you can be based on the things that you want for yourself, what you like, what you want and what you like. Okay. Danny says, I'm 50 and on my second time with braces. Stacy says, she's right. You have to invest in yourself. Okay, you got to do it. You got to show up in order to attract. And then the key part is doing the internal work. What are some of the behaviors and traits that you exhibit that's undesirable? Some of you are passive aggressive and think because you're not yelling and screaming and carrying on that that's feminine or not terrible. Yeah, that's an undesirable trait. Some of you, like me, are argumentative. Some of you, poor money managers. Who wants to entangle their money with someone who is a poor money manager? What are you doing to change your monetary habits so that you are the best version of you on paper? We talked about all of this. What about on paper? The credit score is trash. You're maxing out your credit cards, right? We have to be reasonable. Maybe it's time for us to do some overtime so we can pay down those cards. Maybe it's time for us to skip this trip so that we can invest that money elsewhere. You got to do something different to get a different result. All this boils down to is you have to do something different to get a different result. And as long as you continue to do the same things over and over and over again, get the same result, and then be mad at who? Like an owl. Who? Who can you be mad at? You cannot sit in your house and have an expectation that a husband is going to be delivered to your porch. You cannot go outside, sit in corners, scroll on your phone, and expect people are just going to come up to you. You cannot try to attract a different type of man if you're not doing something different to be more attractive inside and out. You have to do something different to get a different result. And as long as you do the same thing, you'll get the same result. I love that. I love that that is one of the basic values in society. You do nothing different, you get nothing. You do something different, you get something different. So what are you going to do that's different? I'm going to wrap up here. I have 2 new cohorts for my 8-week coaching program, The Partner You Deserve. One of them is starting in 2 weeks, Wednesday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern. The next one starts in October, Saturday mornings. If you recognize that your love life has been stagnant, you've done nothing different to get a different result, you recognize that you like me, that I am the type of person that you need to get your love life in order, that I have the receipts and the testimonials to prove that I can move you from being unhappy in your love life, for not having a love life, to being in the best relationship of your life in 6 months or less, like I've done for so many other women just like you, then it's time for you to apply for coaching. You can comment, DM the word rings. You can click the link in my bio to apply. Let's get on the phone by this weekend. Let's see if coaching is a good fit, if you're ready to invest in yourself and do the work. All right, beautiful people, I'm out of here. I made it out before my baby started crying. So y'all are lucky. This live will not be saved on Instagram. It will be saved on YouTube. So make sure that you subscribe to my YouTube channel, same name, Align with Allison. And I will see you guys at minimum every Wednesday, 5:30-ish here on YouTube. And then I pop up here and there and every other where. All right, folks, have a good one. Bye.